You know that myth, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? You can believe that nonsense if you want to. Never have I ever watched professionals behave so unseemly. Maybe someone should have come up with that. I would hope these doctors would prefer that we not see them square off with each other and want to charge each other like bucks. Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today I will be reviewing Married to Medicine, Season 9, Episode 6. And it's a continuation from last week. The ladies are in Vegas enjoying themselves. They're playing Never Have I Ever. Jackie eventually gets all of them out of the presidential suite and they go to their room to get ready for the evening's activities. So we see everyone dressed up. I didn't see anything particularly outstanding with the ladies' fashion. We see Contessa just having a good time. I'm sure she forgot the instructions of her coach to try to stay on the diet that he had given her. But that went south as soon as she put her foot on the plane. She's drinking, she's eating, she's having a good time. I'm not mad at her. That's what you do when you Dakota Vegas. Anyway, Jackie plans that the ladies should go to an adult store where they sell vibrators, clothing, etc., etc. Everything possible, I imagine, to enhance your sexual experience with your partner or with your husband. So they enter the shop, they're looking around, but there's another place in the shop where they have a sort of instructional, educational part. So the two employees are educating the women on certain vibrators and how they should use it. Toya, of course, asked if there was anything comparable to her shower head, and she was offered or introduced to a new type of situation that will probably make her head explode. We see them at the sex shop exploring all the possibilities that these toys can possibly give them once they get home. Items are introduced so that ladies can imagine and dream of all the possibilities of, having a higher level of pleasure that they may or may not be accustomed to. So we see the ladies gathering the following day. Everybody is excited. They had a good night. And now it's Dr. Simone's turn for the day's festivities. Toya seemed to have a emotional relationship with Bacon. Clearly, we see the beginning of a fit she was getting ready to have because it seemed like the restaurant did not have bacon on their menus. Thank God the hostess could see that Jones in her eyes and was able to bring her as much bacon as she can possibly eat. So that was a blessing. Now the ladies are on a patio of a restaurant. There are quite a few people around having their brunch, I imagine. And, people just enjoying themselves. And Simone said that she was writing a book with her husband Cecil, and she remembered a time when her marriage was on the brink of destruction. And with the help of friends, in particular Heavenly, they were able to bring it back together. So now they're in a much better space and they are writing a book together. So Simone then turned to Heavenly and said, Contessa may be devastated by what you're doing. You're using what she tells you as content for your YouTube channel. Heavenly starts clapping back. She said that everything that Contessa said, she was the one who put it out on the street. Heavenly begins to make a scene. She starts fussing and cussing. Contessa is the one who opened up and shared this information. So basically she's saying that this is now public record and she could use it whenever she feels like. And to a certain extent that is true. However, that at the time she was sharing this information, she claimed to be Contessa's dearest friend. So I'm sure Contessa's upset was that she felt a sense of betrayal, that her friend will speak about her marriage in a disparaging way. That's where the upset is. Additionally, Heavenly may have enhanced some of the things that she believed Dr. Scott was doing to Contessa. So Contessa gets up and they had a back and forth, and all of a sudden the camera's cut and people are holding Heavenly back and someone is holding Contessa back. Meanwhile, Toya and Carrie are sitting and Toya is just eating bacon and Carrie is cutting her food and eating it. And the look on Carrie's face is priceless. Whenever there's a situation and Carrie is around, the look on her face, it's pure joy. People on the patio now with their phones in hand, taking either recording or taking pictures of the chaos and foolishness. And once Heavenly's anger was spent, Anella and Audrey led her out of the restaurant, and Jackie, Simone, Quad, Toya, Carrie, and Contessa stayed on the patio. Contessa asked for prayer. So before they tie up to say a prayer, Carrie was still checking for her food, and Toya just grabbed her hand and said, come on, let's pray. So they prayed that God will calm Contessa down and that peace will reign in the valley. So at this time, once they were finished praying, they locked up in a group hug, and it was, let's go on to the next event. So Dr. Simone now sees this huge pink limo waiting for her when she came out with the group, and they had to call Heavenly to find out whether she would be going on the zip lining activity that she had planned. So of course Heavenly came down because Heavenly is part of the organizing group, so she had to show face. She came down and she and Contessa were able to share the limousine together without throwing hands. Thank God. Prayer always changes things. And the ladies now at the location where they're gonna be zip lining. Toya is terrified. She really doesn't want to do it, but I'll give her props. She did it anyway, and that's the thing about fear. Fear keeps you locked into a cycle of not doing what you always want to do. I'm glad she was able to overcome that and get on the zip line. More to be revealed next week. Hope nobody else is throwing hands because they are in Vegas, and Vegas is usually very strict about shutting down bad behavior. So, I hope no one ends up in jail. That's all I gotta say about that. Is it really necessary to act up in public like that? It's a question we all have to ask ourselves. So that's all I have. Thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing. Thank you for sending me your comments. I appreciate you when you send comments because that supports my channel as well. And we shall see each other in the next bit. You are blessed to be a blessing. Let me say that again. You are blessed. Have a good one. Bye-bye.